Hey guys, how you doing? Hope you're doing okay. I'm going to read through the full article here. There's a link in the description. But to start with, I'll give you an overview. We'll see how thorough I'm able to make it, and we'll just scroll through the article to make sure I do, in fact, give you all of the important and accurate information. It is a tragic situation which happened January the 13th earlier this year in Melbourne, a northeast Melbourne suburb called Mill Park. What is alleged to be the case, and I have to say alleged to be sure, but seemingly there is plenty of evidence here. There's not a lot of doubt going on, but to be sure, this alleged scumbag here, his name is Prabal Sharma, 40 years of age. He allegedly stabbed to death his wife, Poonam Sharma, as well as his 6-year-old daughter, their 6-year-old daughter, Vanessa. He went on a stabbing spree. The mother ran to the next door. I believe Vanessa ran too, to take shelter at the next door neighbor's house. As far as I can understand, the details are a little bit light, a little bit vague, but as far as I can understand, both of them ran out of the house, and this alleged scumbag followed them and stabbed them both, perhaps multiple times. That isn't very clearly stated. The mother, if I understand correctly, died at the scene. The daughter, Vanessa, was taken to hospital, but she died shortly thereafter. Now that leaves behind 10-year-old sister, Angela, their daughter, Vanessa's big sister. And thankfully, a blessing here is that she was physically unharmed, uninjured during this knife stabbing frenzy. She was uninjured, so we've got to be thankful for that. But non-physically injured, of course, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, she is extremely damaged. It's quite possible that she's not going to be in a position to be a part of the trial, to be a witness, because of the damage, of the strain that would take. Now, the article tells us that the alleged scumbag's lawyer is in the process of organizing access to a forensic psychiatrist in the hope of running a mental impairment defense. So, if I understand correctly, and perhaps I don't, but if I do, then a psychiatrist will be called upon to perform a psychiatric test, and the results of that will determine whether or not the defense can run with a mental impairment defense. And I believe, I may have this wrong, but I think I've got this right. I believe that if that does occur, if the psychiatric says, yes, he was mentally impaired, and the defense run with a guilty via mental impairment defense, then I believe that would mean that should he be sentenced, which presumably he would be, instead of being sent to a prison, a jail, he would be sent to a psychiatric facility. So I believe that's the main key repercussion of claiming mental impairment. There's not too much more information to go over, but very briefly, apparently this scumbag self-harmed when approached by police. Seemingly he stabbed himself. He was taken to hospital in a critical condition, but he did stabilize. He survived, and seemingly he has overcome those injuries. The article reaffirms that the prosecutors feel that it's quite likely that they won't call upon the 10-year-old daughter, Angela, to testify. They probably won't, because of the damage psychologically, emotionally, that has already been caused, and they don't want to expose her to further trauma, which is understandable. And I would think that the police have plenty of evidence. There's Vanessa, there's the big sister. I would think that they have plenty of evidence from the scene where the incident clearly took place. I don't think it would be required for, I mean, what do I know? But I would agree with the police on this one, the prosecution, that they ought to spare the 10-year-old daughter from the risk of further trauma. The only other aspect to add to this is that no one knows what the motive is. No one knows what caused this lunatic in question allegedly to snap. Okay, right. So one thing that I've mentioned a few times in several videos, and maybe I'm boring you the pants off of you by mentioning this, but I just keep getting bothered by what appears to be normal people, normal, sane, I'll even say happy people, I'll even say successful people that seemingly aren't drug dealers, seemingly aren't career criminals, seemingly not necessarily mentally impaired. Perhaps this isn't the best example, but I'm just getting more and more bothered by how these people are going from one extreme to another, from living seemingly, and of course I understand that this is just a photo, I understand people wear a mask, that we don't understand what's going on in people's lives, in their minds. I do not know their history. I've just read one article. It took me a few minutes to read through it, you know. I don't know these guys, but even though I understand that I don't know these guys, I do get a sense that they're largely normal people. Certainly, I mean, why wouldn't they be normal? I shouldn't say they, but why shouldn't the alleged murderer be a normal guy? Like, he's got a beautiful family, he's got a beautiful wife, he had a beautiful wife, he had two beautiful daughters. Seemingly he's living in a nice house, perhaps a nice enough house, in a nice enough suburb. I'm not familiar with Mill Park, but he seems like he's got a decent enough life, I would have thought. What do I know? I don't know. But that would be my assumption, which might well be wrong. And I would presume to be able to afford a house and to be able to afford a home, he must have been an employee for much, if not all, of his adult life. You know, I'm going to guess, I could be wildly wrong, that he hasn't indulged overly in drugs or crime or anything like that. I mean, I am guessing, I realize that, but to me, the point I'm waffling around trying to make is, what the F is going on to turn a normal family man into a psychotic murderer of his own wife and his own child? You see my point? It's gone from one extreme normalcy to another psychoticness at a blink of an eye. You know, to me, it's crazy. I'm struggling to understand these sudden switches of psychotic behavior. I really don't know what is causing that. Maybe I don't know. Maybe this is just how things are, and that's how humans are. And I'm not familiar enough with these types of crimes to realize that yet. I don't know. But I genuinely am shocked at what can appear to be a normal family guy to turn out to be a psychotic murderer in the blink of an eye. It bothers me. But anyway, I'm going to wrap things up here, guys. If you do like the coverage of this type of content, if you think I've done a half-decent job, please do show some support, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. I really, really do appreciate all of your support. It's wonderful. I love the comments in particular. So I'm going to wrap things up for this evening, guys. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to try to make a fun video, not on this channel, but that's what I'm going to try to do. I want to figure out how to make some fun videos. Yeah, which you may not like, and I may not even tell you where I post the videos, if I post them. But I want to figure that out, because I want to have some fun on YouTube as well. So I'm going to go and do that, and I want you to stop watching these videos too. Go and do some fun yourself. Do something fun, and I'll see you tomorrow.